on the hunt for a new hitch for the F350. So the newer 17 ups, the diesel trucks, not the gas. The gas still has a 2.5 hitch, but the diesels have the 3-inch receiver, and you know, the only hitch I had was 2.5, so it was pretty loose. The pin didn't even fit through the receiver and the hitch. It wasn't long enough, so I called the store. They said they should have one. I've already checked a few stores. I decided to start calling places because I didn't think they would be so hard to come by. So let's go over there, hopefully get this hitch, and then I can take the Hellcat over to my old work, the Junkyard, Don's sport car, and you know, I can commence the teardown on that. Over here at Tractor Supply, gonna see if they have that hitch. And this looks like the options. They're actually kind of different. They're like cast instead of like a piece of tube. So I guess I'm gonna get the 4-inch drop one. This is all the stuff you need for the newer trucks. You need a 3-inch receiver, you need a longer pin, and then you need the 1.25-inch ball. Look how big that receiver right there is. This is the first time I actually get to use the backup camera to back up to a trailer. I've never had that before. Let's see if I can actually get it. I'm kind of coming in crooked here. Got the line on there. We're going with her. Yeah, give her the. Oh, I missed. I'm used to using the mirrors. I'm pretty sure if I used the mirrors, I could have got the thing dead on. I've never used the a backup camera to back up to a trailer. It's kind of weird because I'm not used to it. I'm like trying to look at the mirrors still, and I mean, it's awesome. Like, you could definitely, like, bam. Well, this is the first tow with the new truck. I haven't loaded the car yet, but man, a trailer is attached to the new F350. I'm pretty excited. Just about to load the Challenger onto the trailer. I don't know if this is a party foul, but I have an LSX shirt on. I don't know if that's blasphemy or not, but gonna load this bad boy onto the trailer, take it over to the junkyard. This is the F350 I rebuilt. If you haven't seen the videos, go check them out. And this is the first tow. If you don't know how to get one of these cars in neutral, this is gonna be a crash course. So you can't put it in neutral just by depressing the brake pedal anymore. Even with the car in accessory or in run without the engine started, the engine has to be running. What you do, you come in here, you kind of pop this homie to the side. So you just push that little tab to the side. This pulls all the way up and locks in. And if you don't push that little tab right there to the side, it will bend it flat and you won't be able to put this back down, because it'll pretty much, when you pull it up, it'll make it go straight. And ask me how I know. The tow truck driver pretty much did that. So I had to bend it back. They pretty easy to bend, but you know, just precaution, just push that to the side, and you want to have it because it locks this in place. If you don't have this thing locked in place, it'll probably pop up and half get you into neutral or do something crazy. So just make sure to be careful with that. So now it's in neutral, I should be able to pull it on the trailer. Good thing I had an extra pair of ramps. Trevor forgot to give me the keys for his ramp locks. So I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna be able to take this over today. Had an extra pair, gonna load this thing now with the winch. That's gonna be really nice. So the Hellcat is now loaded on the trailer and connected to the truck. It was quite a process. I ended up having to go to Trevor's house because the winch control was in the back of his truck. So I ended up taking the Audi and giving it a little drive, but the car is loaded and strapped down. I don't have very far to go. Yeah, I definitely think dualies are the way to go when towing stuff. This thing is just pulling this. I mean, It does have 1,200 foot-pounds of torque, but I mean, first tow in the F350, hell yeah. So my old boss over there on the loader is let me use Chevy Auto over there again to fix something. Last time he let me fix a truck. This time I get to fix a Hellcat. If you guys need any parts, they ship, you know, they've shipped worldwide. So if you need anything, check them out. Don Sport Car Salvage, Pueblo, Colorado. And let's get this thing unloaded and get it in the shop. Welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be working on the Hellcat. In the last video I brought over the Junkyard because I have to remove the engine and tranny. So when I got the car, I didn't believe I was going to have to do it. The pictures didn't look as bad as they were, and when it came, I saw the frame rails were pushed over. So I'm going to need to pull the engine and tranny and all front suspension to be able to remove all the sheet metal and get it repaired correctly. This passenger side strut tower looks like it's okay. Good thing because it has a VIN number on it. And other than that, I want the peace of mind to know that this thing is fixed correctly. I know frame guys could probably straighten this thing out, but you know, this car is supposed to do close to 200 miles an hour, and I want to be able to push it without worrying about weakened metal or something failing because it was straightened. So I'm going to replace frame rails, all this strut tower, all the sheet metal up here, new cradle, new pretty much everything except for the passenger side strut tower. This will be new up here, new, all that stuff. So I won't have to worry about this thing giving me any problems. Just like when I rebuilt the F350, if you saw those videos, if you haven't, link is below. If you're not subscribed to my channel, click that subscribe button and let's get to work on this thing.
You said fine, you win, but it feels like I didn't win anything. I don't believe it. You say that I'm all you need, but we slam, we cry, we scream. I don't believe it. All we see is both our imperfections, throwing mine in your direction. Nothing left, there's no attraction. My eyes emptied, no reaction. Yes, we hit the point when it's over. We burn out to nothing. We're watching the flames, watching the flames. Then I'll be leaving without you, and I won't feel a thing. It's all the same. Yeah, we burn out to nothing. We're watching the flames, watching the flames. Then I'll be leaving without you, and I won't feel a thing. It's all the same. Yeah. From now till eternity, like you see on the TV screen. I don't believe it. And if this was a movie scene, it'd be the one with the gasoline and matches to kill the dark. All we see is both our imperfections, throwing mine in your direction. Nothing left, there's no attraction. My eyes emptied, no reaction. Yes, we hit the point when it's over. We burn up to nothing. We're watching the flames, watching the flames. Then I'll be leaving without you, and I won't feel a thing. see on the TV screen. I don't believe it. And if this was a movie scene, it'd be the one with the gasoline and matches to kill the dark. All we see is both our imperfections, throwing mine in your direction. Nothing left, there's no attraction. My eyes emptied, no reaction. Yes, we hit the point when
Just finished removing the engine and transmission from the Hellcat and the subframe and the wheels and all the front suspension. I noticed that the few coils on this side were broke, and this one especially. I think this one's bad as well, but I'll get 2 or 3 coils for the passenger side just because the engine was kind of like twisted that way. Looking at it without measuring, I really can't tell much, but I think the strut tower on the passenger side is okay. Down here, it kind of looks like the bolt that holds the subframe on, you know, it kind of pushed into that a little bit. One thing I noticed was this little dimple right here. I'm pretty sure this is factory, and I'm gonna end up replacing this whole rail just because of this issue right there. And I could most likely get away with you know, replacing this forward, but when you order the rail, it is pretty much this whole piece. And I'm not exactly sure yet if I'm gonna buy a whole nother car to fix this thing, or if I'm going to actually go ahead and order all the parts brand new. So coming down here, everything looks good. It doesn't look like there's any issues from that. Usually you'd see creases, and I'm pretty sure that's factory, because this side over here has the same indentation, and they wouldn't be the same when this side was pulled that way. This would have popped out. So I'm thinking that the subframe probably held it pretty square, other than the you know, the subframe shifting and causing that issue over there. So one thing that was difficult about this is everything on this thing that I pulled off so far was Loctited, and unlike the F350, it seemed like nothing on there was Loctited. So this thing had a lot of Loctite, just you know, additional time to pull the bolts out. You have to pretty much wrench a little bit longer. My little, you know, the side impact right here, it you know, it wouldn't rip the bolts out until I got them, you know, past the Loctite. So that is one thing to note if you're gonna take on a project, or like one of these as a project, and everything. So over here you can see that all this metal, you know, there isn't any buckles, anything like that. I may end up leaving this rail right here, but like I said, if I order the rails, they come as you know, they come from all the way back right here. So you drill out the spot welds, and you know, you just replace this whole thing, and then all this sheet metal comes with the strut tower, and then this, you know, there's an inside and outside for that. So I'm still kind of deciding. The one variable that I have been thinking about is if I do get a whole nother car, I was thinking about getting a scat pack. I could have you know, a TR6060 and a you know, I could get a manual one, have a TR6060 and a, you know, 6.4 just you know, laying around if I want to use it in something, and then I could part the whole rest of the car out. With doing that, I could drill the spot welds out where I need them to be as a whole assembly, and then put that whole assembly on the car, and it would, you know, make it a lot easier, because I wouldn't have to line as many pieces up, because every piece you have to measure and tack, and then measure again and make sure everything is straight and square. You don't want this thing, you know, I don't want this thing dog tracking down the road, like looking like it's driving sideways or something. That wouldn't be good for, you know, going fast either. So I'm gonna have to decide what I'm gonna do. I'm looking at a few options that are coming up in the auction, so I may end up just buying a whole nother car, parting it out, using the pieces that I need, dash, airbags, you know, a lot of stuff. There's another Hellcat coming up that's a theft, and it doesn't have the engine or tranny. Some other parts, but it has all the frame stuff. It has, you know, the water pump for that other side, for the heat exchanger and the intercooler, and all that. So a lot of decisions to kind of make in a short period of time. I want to get this thing done relatively quick. If you're kind of new to the channel and don't know, the F350 went very quickly. The only issue I had was waiting on parts. I hope I don't have the same issue, but I'm kind of ahead of the game with the parts this time. So one thing I want to show you guys is how bad this car is messed up. Looking at the pictures on the auction, it did not look this bad. And that is one thing that most people don't notice when they're, you know, bidding on cars at the auction. A lot of people have started to buy wrecked cars like this. They get them, they're like, I don't know how to fix that. You know, I learn as I go. I can pretty much figure out anything that I need to, so it's not that big a deal for me. But over here, you can see that the most likely what stopped this right here from, you know, tweaking the whole back section of this in the firewall right there was the subframe, because it had those 2 points connected right there. It did kind of peel that right there because it shifted the subframe a little bit. When this came, the front of the subframe is bent. You can see that hole right there is supposed to be a circle, and it is kind of a weird shaped oval. And yeah, this thing definitely took a hard hit from the driver's side, pushing everything over. And the driver's side is quite a bit, you know, more bent, and it did bend the strut tower. The only reason the strut tower did bend up here is because this piece of metal right here, this wheel well piece of metal that's spot welded in, kind of, you know, tied it in and kind of started to collapse it, pulling the strut tower at the top in, which is the reason this arm is still up there, because it's kind of stuck. So I have to cut that bad boy out when I drill the spot welds out. You can see exactly how bad the front of the subframe was bent. Coming back, you can see how far over that is. It's probably over a good 3 inches. And this side is probably over, you know, a little less. It looks like maybe an inch and a half, something like that. That is the end of this episode of the Hellcat rebuild. I lowered the car down, moved the engine and tranny out of the way. And the reason I did that was just in case it tipped off the lift, and now it shouldn't have an issue. So it probably wouldn't have had an issue before, but just peace of mind. And now all this stuff is out of the way. If you like these videos, make sure to click that subscribe button, comment below, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Also, I have an F350 rebuild that I did. If you haven't watched it, go check that out. It came together really quick, and you know, it was an awesome build. Now it is my daily driver. I use it to tow this thing here. It was way better than the 6 liter I used to have. So hope you guys like the videos. See you in the next episode.